Steve, what string should I buy? What string should I use? Okay, well, last night I thought, as I'll be recording some videos today, I'll put some new strings on. And what I've got on here are some Rotor Sound. There you go. Oh, wrong one. 40, 60, 80, 100. 40, 60, 80, 100. That's just the width, okay? Now, normally, right, I would use 35s here, and I think, what have we got here, hang on. 35s, I think that's 55, I'm not sure, 75 and 95, somewhere around there. But normally the gauges, I remember, it's just 35 here and a 95. And I've just gone for slightly thicker strings this time. And in all honesty, I don't really like them. And it's the first time in a long time, if you listen to a lot of my demos, you'll find that my bass sounds different a lot of the time. And one of the reasons is that in all honesty, I don't think I've ever brought the same set of strings twice. Some people say, oh yeah, I use this, that and the other, you know. I normally use what strings are available. Sometimes I might be in the bass centre in London and they've got all sorts of strings and you think, oh, I'll have one of those. But like, one of the only reasons I chose this box was because they're $11.95 and they were the cheapest ones they had. A nickel set medium gauge. That's the only reason for buying that set of strings. There's nothing else, it's just the price. Okay. I really like Rotor Sound, and in fact, Rotor Sound used to have the Mark King Funk Master set years ago. I don't think they still do them. But that's why I chose them, and it's not, I don't like them because they're Rotor Sound. I love Rotor Sound, really. So when you go to buy your strings, you know, if you've never bought a set before, what I'd recommend is buy 35s. Just say I want a set of 35s, I know what you mean. It means your G string will be 35. Well, actually, check the gauges. Have a 95 on the E, 95, and a 35, because that's kind of in the middle, and I think that's fine. If your strings are too heavy, you're not going to be able to slap fast if that's what you want. Okay, we'll cover that later. But when I started, I used to have like the thinnest strings. That's what Mark King had as well. They were like really thin. And I'm talking a lot about Mark King at the moment because that's where I started. I don't really do a lot of that, in truth, anymore, but it still has a place. And a lot of people are still really interested to learn how to do that, which is why, you know, I bring him up. But yeah, and I would just recommend use any strings. Don't get hung up on one set of strings or on any one aspect of your playing, because if you say that you can't play because, oh, I haven't got the right set of strings or my sound isn't right or something, you're going to severely limit yourself. I mean, I never used to change my bass strings as well for sometimes years on end, and you'll find that the sound changes as the strings get older and they get rusty. You'll get different sounds. There are some bass lines that I've played in the past with certain sounds that won't sound very good now because the strings have to be a certain way, but it doesn't really matter. I'll still play it, but the bass will just sound different. I haven't got one particular sound that I like, because I like all different sounds, you know, and all different bass players, and they've all got characteristics that I like. And I was going to say about Mark King again. Mark King used to get through 7 sets a night, as I remember, to keep that high. Just to keep that high sound, you know. Robbie Shakespeare of Sly and Robbie, you know, he used to keep his strings on. He used to say that his strings usually started to sound good after about a year, you know, because it was a heavy reggae sort of a feel. So there you go. What I just say is when you go buy your strings, just get a set of 35s, 35 on the top, 95 on the bottom. You'll be in the middle. Just start there. If you want lighter, you can get 30s and 90s, or if you want to go heavier, more reggae sort of sound, get 40s to 100.